Hello and welcome to Western Perspective. On the program this week, John Gillespie has been working in the interests of WA's youth as boss of the state's Police and Citizens Youth Club. But the man known by many simply as Jock is now leaving the organisation after tackling issues surrounding young people during 5 years at the helm. I sat down with him to chat about his time as CEO, how to solve our state's youth issues, as well as his future plans as he prepares to leave PCYC. John Gillespie, welcome to Western Perspective.
Thanks very much, Nelson.
Have you enjoyed your time here as the CEO of PCYC WA?
Oh, very much so. It's been highly rewarding. I think one of the biggest things is when you come into an organisation that requires a lot of change and a lot of cultural change too, but also still trying to keep, especially with PCYC, trying to keep the police in PCYC has been an ongoing challenge, but highly rewarding in terms of where the organisation is today.
So what have been the main challenges that you've faced as the CEO?
Well, as you know, at one point there, the police officers moved out of the organisation, and then we had a rapid recruitment of civilian staff coming into the organisation. So it wasn't really a proper handover. So in terms of the knowledge that the police officers had, and in terms of the new people coming in, new civilians coming in, there was a lack of knowledge in terms of how to run centres, more or less too. There's lack of governance. So what we had to go through was we had to determine straight away. I think the first 3 weeks coming into the organisation was we identified there was no real policy in place. We identified there's a need for strategy.
And given PCYC's position in the community, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud of the way that my people, I say my people, but I'm proud of the way that our people have actually embraced the actual principles of PCYC. They've actually come in, they've actually embraced what we need to do. They've actually understand where we have to go, and more importantly, most of them are passionate, if not all, very passionate about young people and what their needs are and trying to make a difference.
In your time as the head of PCYC, have you and the organisation achieved what you want to achieve?
We have, but at the time now I'm leaving, I suppose we're on the cusp of really sorting out the service delivery side of it. So it's been a slow build-up.
What are the main issues facing young people today, in your opinion?
The organisation with some of those young people is where they lack family support. They've got poor education. Some of them can't even read or write, or only read or write partially. They don't have a driver's licence. They don't have any goals set in their life. If you look in some of those other remote areas, this all comes back around to alcohol abuse, drug abuse, child abuse.
How big is the risk for them, and do they know? And do the kids know what they're experiencing?
Some kids do, some kids don't. If you see some of the young people out there, they've sort of got quite blasé. You've got no responsibilities on their shoulders. But I think when you get to a certain age, you go, boy, I need to take responsibility here. But after being in those programs for a little while, they get a sense of direction. Then they really know what they want to do.
What will you miss most about being here at PCYC?
I'm going to miss working with the people and just seeing what's happening out there at the centres. I suppose I'll miss the day-to-day news, what happens out there in the areas, and also dealing with the everyday people. And
finally, what's coming up next for you? Are there any plans on the horizon?
No, I did overseas work before in aid development, so that's really good. But I was also a former consultant as well as being a former police officer, so that opens the door for small work opportunities. But I'm looking at some semi-retirement here, Nelson. Get me back time.
I'm Jock Gillespie. Thank you for your time, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Thanks very much, Nelson. Cheers.
And that's all for this week. WP will be back in a week's time, but for now, it's back to you, Ivan and Danielle.
Nelson, thank you very much. This week's main news again. Citizenship reform is back and ready to be debated in federal parliament next month, with questions remaining over the difficulty of the citizenship test. Federal Liberal MP Ian Goodenough said the Citizenship Amendment Bill will require applicants to demonstrate competency in English and show commitment to Australian values and beliefs. Federal Citizenship Minister Alan Tudge also visited Perth and spoke with migrant residents about their concerns over citizenship.
And that's our weekly news and current affairs. You can follow the latest news on our website and Facebook.
Until 8 o'clock next Sunday, have a good evening.
Good night.